as well that have significant amounts that you can donate, but there's still limits. But Google can influence an election, as you were saying, in a significant way, and they don't have to report anything to the FEC. What would you suggest that the value of their influence in American dollars might be?
Well, if they would allow companies to buy the influence that they are actually having, it would be in the billions. It's priceless, really, because again, they can do things on a massive scale that no company, no PAC, no campaign can do, and they can do things invisibly. That's hard for a campaign to do, and they can do things in a way that leaves no paper trail.
So kind of hit and run tactics. Hit and pull out, hit and pull out, hit and pull out, no paper trail, unless somebody like you is there, caught you, takes a picture of it effectively, caught you, takes a picture, says, okay, now I have you. Now I have a trail for you. But is anyone doing it other than you?
To my knowledge, this is sad to say, but to my knowledge, at the moment, there's just me and my helpers and my associates. That's it.
And when we come back, I have a question for you. For 2020, how are you, or is anybody else, planning to monitor this? And I don't mean just the election, but I mean the lead up to the election so the American people can know what's taking place. We'll be right back. Dr. Robert Epstein. So the 2020 election's coming. It's not that far away. Other than you, really nobody's monitoring this. Maybe nobody even knows how to monitor this. In the lead up to the election, given the consequences, given the effect on the electoral process, and Google's probably out there, you suggest, not only gearing up, but doing their thing right now. What do we do about this?
Well, I'm hoping to build a very large, very comprehensive monitoring system, much larger than the systems I've built before, and to monitor a wide variety of phenomena. Email suppression, that's going on now, all kinds of throttling on YouTube, shadow banning on Twitter, news feeds that are highly biased, demoting certain news sources, promoting other news sources. So I'm hoping to build a very big system with a very large number of field agents in all 50 states to keep an eye on what's happening and to use artificial intelligence to spot these shenanigans as they are occurring. Now, if I'm unable to build that system, we will never know why the winner won. We'll never know.
Let me ask you this, though. The media, the mass modern media, the reception to your findings, how's that been?
Well, until a couple weeks ago, the reception was pretty good, but a couple weeks ago, President Trump tweeted about some of my findings from 2016. He got a couple things slightly wrong. Then Hillary Clinton tweeted back at him saying my work had been debunked and that it was all based on 21 undecided voters.
So it sounds like she got everything wrong.
Oh, blatantly wrong. And
you were a Hillary supporter.
A huge Hillary supporter. I have a signed letter from Bill Clinton up on the desk over my wall. I'm a huge supporter of the Clintons. And then mainstream media, which is my media, they all took up her message. And at this moment in time, I'm a pariah. I don't understand how this happened. It makes no sense to me. But that's what's happened.
Well, I can tell you why it happened. Because you're trying to bring an objective analysis to our electoral process and a very odious influence on that process that is under the radar. And if we had real news operations and these other networks, they would take what you've been reporting, your studies and so forth, and they'd have some investigative reporters. They have enormous resources, the New York Times, Washington Post, these other entities, and they would pursue it and they'd look into it. But they don't. So they attack you. It's the Democrat Party press. That's what I call it. You might want to rethink your ideology. But all that said, if you find more and more information, and yet the information is censored by the mass media, that makes it much more difficult. Although you could go into the new media, right, around the old media, around network TV, cable TV, and newspapers and so forth, go into social media, which I think is where your word is spreading, quite frankly, and certain websites and so forth, and put the message out, correct?
I could, but, it's very, very hard to fight these companies because, Facebook controls the largest social media platform that there is. So if Facebook wants to suppress your message, they can. Google controls 92% of search worldwide. The next largest search engine controls 2.5% of search. So the point is, if major media or the tech industry wants to suppress my findings, which are, by the way, rock solid, very, very carefully done, if they want to suppress my findings or they want to criticize me in some way, they're very hard to fight.
Have you been invited on Meet the Press?
No.
Have you been invited on This Week?
No.
Have you been invited on any of the major Sunday shows?
No.
Have you been invited on any of the major network news programs?
No.
I just wanted to understand that. We'll be right back.
Liberty Mutual customized
ride minutes.
2020 election that Google is going
Day available in stores everywhere.
So, Dr. Epstein, if I understand you correctly, you're saying that the lead up to the 2020 election, that Google is going to do even more and more intensely what it was doing in 2016. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That's my belief.
That's your belief. Are you monitoring them now?
No.
You're going to start monitoring them again soon?
I hope to.
Yeah. And as you do this every month, every few months and so forth, you'll make public what you're finding as best you can?
Correct.
Okay, because I'm concerned if you're not monitoring them, nobody's monitoring them. And you may have unique skills to monitor them where others don't have those kind of skills. Is it a little surprising to you, being a liberal and supporting Hillary, that you've received the kind of reception you have from the media and other liberal Democrat Party friendly outlets?
Surprising is not quite the word.
Upsetting.
Upsetting, my head is spinning, that kind of thing, yeah.
Because you're being personally attacked?
I'm being personally attacked, and I've had a spotless reputation as a scientist and scholar for almost 40 years. My work meets the highest standards of scientific integrity, always.
Now here's your work with charts, a zillion footnotes. It spells out, you're more transparent than Google, page after page after page. Do you really think anybody in the media has read this other than me?
I doubt it.
Right. Do you think Don Lemon has read this? Do you think Andrea Mitchell's read this?
That was from the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. It's one of the top journals in the world. And that paper you're holding in your hand has been downloaded from their website more than 200,000 times, and at least as of last year was ranked in the top 1% of all scientific papers in all fields. But no, I don't think many people have read it.
And why do you think the media won't read it?
I think there's a message here they don't want to hear. I mean, at the moment, the tech companies, Google especially, are supporting people who lean left, supporting Democrats, which is, I like those. I like Democrats. But, you don't know who they're going to support next year. That's the problem. I mean, what I'm saying is, look, I think we should put democracy our nation the free and fair election ahead of any party or candidate. That's my message. That's why I've been speaking out.
The title of the report for America is The Search Engine Manipulation Effect, SEME, and its possible impact on the outcomes of elections. You can download this on Bing, by the way, if you want to check it out. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And good luck, and keep up the work, because we're going to monitor this too. It's very, very important. See you next time on Life, Liberty, and Levin.